What's going on, guys? My name is D. Anthony. I want to show you guys how you guys can start profiting, making money on a day in and day out basis. Now, are you going to make money every day? Of course not, right? If it was truly that easy and you were never going to lose, we would all be multi-billionaire gajillionaires, right? Truth of the matter is we do take losses, but today was not one of those days because we did win on Tesla. I actually took another trade on AMD, posted that video up just a little while ago, but I'm going to go over this Tesla trade that I was in and kind of give you guys the insights to exactly what I was thinking when I was taking this trade, why I took this trade. We know we had earnings on Tesla coming up today, so maybe there was going to be some sort of end of day rally, something like that. Tesla currently in the after hours is pretty much flat, shot all the way up to 150, kind of came back down. Now it's just pretty much flat. So we got to see what they want to do with this thing tomorrow, but that's besides the point. So I've got a couple of supply and demand zones on my chart. I want to kind of go over those with you and explain to you why I took the trade, where I took the trade, and where I wanted to take my profits. So this top line here, this top white line that you see, 145 area, is the pre-market highs, okay? And then this green line that we have here is our first hour's high. So every day what I'm going to do when I'm setting up my charts, I'm going to mark out the pre-market highs. I'm going to mark out the pre-market lows. I'm going to wait for that first hour candle to kind of set in place. And then I'm going to mark out the highs on that and the lows on that. So that's the green line is the high, and the red line down here is the first hour's low. Okay, so the first hour's low is below the pre-market low. So there was actually an area here, a pivot point, where you could have taken a trade short off the open, and I'll kind of show you how you would set that up. So if your pre-market low price was sitting at around 140.46, if we get a 5-minute candle close below this area and it starts to breach the pre-market lows, you can definitely take a stab and try to short that position. Now, the only thing you don't really know is how low is it going to go. In this case, it went from a price of 140.46 down to around 138.20. So that would have been a good trade. Did we know it was going to go that low? Of course not. So that's kind of the risk you're taking when you short those pre-market lows and pre-market highs. You really don't understand, obviously, if we're going to take it out that aggressively, and you really don't have any other demand zones to kind of go off of. Now, I can show you some ways to kind of have a better understanding of potentially what your next demand zone is and your take profit zone is. Make sure you join the Discord, and I'll show you guys how to do that instead of just trying to trade this blind. But that's not the trade that I took. So I ended up making $575. I took January 23rd, which is this Friday's expiration, and I took $142 strike prices. So the reason why I took that is after we got this initial washout, I noticed we started to trade around sideways and we never put in a new low. Now that low was going to be 138.08. If we would have lost and confirmed 138.08, I was going to go short on Tesla. Since we never lost that 138.08, I waited for this to consolidate and get back over the 20 SMA here, and you can see get back into the pre-market range. So the pre-market low was 140.46, waited for it to get in here. Now I do cheat this strategy. You could have actually got in around 140.50 and taken this for a little ride here all the way up to 142.86. I missed this because I was in another trade and I was looking at other things. So what I was really realistically looking for, I knew that our opening range highs, meaning our first hour candle highs, was 142.86. If we were to break high of day, I was going to take that, and I was going to use the trailing 20 period moving average as my stop, meaning if we were to break through that and then chop around and then lose it, I would take my stop loss there. So you can see here at 8:35 in the morning, we actually broke, okay, this opening range high, 142.86. I went in the money on these options contracts at 142. We did kind of pull back a little bit, chopped around sideways for almost an hour, gave me a little bit of money here, took some money back, traded sideways, and then we just started to trickle higher. Now this candle here at 9:55 a.m. almost stopped me out. Not gonna lie, it was at this point in time here I thought, this trade's about to fail, and I'm gonna have to take a small loss on this trade. But my rules are going to state, as long as we do not close underneath the 20 SMA, we can trade below here all we want. as long as we do not close under here and we stay over, I'm going to remain in this trade. That's exactly what I did. My take profit zone was going to be pre-market highs. I already knew when I took the trade here, I intended on taking profits near or in this area. Why? This is going to be a major area of resistance. I did not want to play the game where we came up here and flirted with this area and then sold off at the end of the day, especially going into earnings, right? Especially going into earnings. So I knew that if we were to able to put in a new high and kind of ride this 20 SMA into the pre-market highs, I wanted to sell in this area. And it was in this time frame here between like 10:45 and 11 is when I actually sold. And I can actually show you exactly what time I sold here. Let me just look it up real quick. So if I go to my orders here and I kind of look at my field and I see exactly when I sold here on Tesla. So I sold at 11:47. So 11:47 was on this candlestick here. Okay. 11:47 is on this candlestick here. So I took my entry here over the high of daybreak, sat in it all this time, actually broke the pre-market highs, and like a dummy, I should have taken here, but I sold on the pullback. And you can kind of understand, you know, emotionally and psychology wise, why I sold here at 11:47. So at 11:47 is this candlestick here that I'm trying to highlight in this area. Okay, I looked at it as, you know, we broke that pre-market high, put in that new high, we pulled back, and I was thinking if we kind of popped here and then dropped, I didn't want to get caught in that. So I actually sold here 145.08, but my entry price was the 142.80. So that was a good clip on that. Did take 10 contracts of that, made $575. That's just the way my contracts worked out for me there. Was kind of scaling right along the way. So it's not like I just bought 10 contracts here and sold 10 contracts here. You know, I sell a little bit on the way. Depending on how the price action is going, how fast it's moving, how slow it's moving, I'll kind of scale off one here. I'll scale off 3 here. Sometimes, you know, if I take 10 contracts, I might just sell 5. You know, if I get a nice push up really fast, like if I get, sometimes I've been in trades where I'll take 10 contracts and within that first 5-minute candle, a stock goes up $1 and immediately I'll just sell 5. Okay. I'll just lock in those profits and then I'll kind of wait for it to consolidate and put in a new high or do whatever it's got to do. And then I'll kind of like sell 2. Sell 1, and sometimes I'll get down to just that last runner and just kind of hold it right until break even, or you know, just continue to swing it overnight. But that's how I played this one. Took the 10 contracts here, started to scale out in this area, and as we got close to these pre-market highs, I knew I wanted to sell here, so I got down and out of most of my position here, allowed it to break. And I'm not gonna lie, at this point, you know, I thought, hey, you know, we're gonna just continue to ramp into the close here. And then we started to sell off, and I said, the hell with this, let's just get out of this trade. You know, there's no sense in, I'm like trying to squeeze water out of a rock at that point in time. But I just wanted to give you guys an overview of, you know, how I set up my charts, what I'm looking for. I'm looking at the pre-market highs, pre-market lows. I'm also looking at the first hour candles highs and first hour candles lows, and then I'm watching that 20 SMA. It's very, very easy price action strategy, very, very easy to trade and follow. And it doesn't matter if you're a new trader, an old trader, a beginner trader, an experienced trader, doesn't matter, guys. Anyone can use it. It's like a construction worker has a tool belt with a lot of tools. This is a strategy, and consider it a tool. Put it in your belt, use it. Let me know how it works for you. Make sure to join the Discord. That link is down in the description box below. Also, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.